I've got the good petrol once again, and you'll never believe it, that Shistad is in fact the name of my great-grandmother. You know, we have the coats, we are the coats, they are the pants. We've got all the pants family here, Fatima pants, Andira pants, and my great-grandmother. Her name was Shistad Pants. I'm telling you what, she is going to win. Over to you, Kenny.
Thank you, Mahatma, and all that sort of makes sense, I guess. We'll get back to him on it. I'm not quite sure. The jury's out on that one. Now, one jockey who could well be returning to scale as the winner of the Spring Champion Stakes is Chris Muntz. He's aboard the well-fancied Brave Warrior, considered one of the real chances in the race. But for more than one reason, the entire Muntz household is hoping that Brave Warrior is the first to greet the judge.
You don't have to look far for reasons for winning a Group 1 race. The prestige and prize money take care of that. But what drives the jockey harder is a special bond with the charge beneath him.
It's a great feeling when you get a young horse and you educate him and you've done all the hard work and you see him sort of come through the ranks to be one of the best in Australia. That's really gratifying in itself, I feel.
G'day, Chris.
Hi, mate, come on in.
So this is the lodge?
Yep.
It takes a visit to Muntz Lodge in Brisbane, past the statue that's only a few inches shorter than its master, to know how close Brave Warrior and Chris Muntz are. A game of snooker is really just a chance to show off the horse. A dedicated horseman, four-time winner of the Brisbane Jockeys Premiership, Chris has little time for games. At least, that's his excuse for poor form. Muntz's opponent is wife Kathy, also a part owner of the horse on the wall. But if he rode the horse as badly as he plays this game, would she take him off the beast?
Unless the horse was given a terribly bad run, well, even I still don't think he'd get off the horse, if I had anything to do with it anyway.
Most jockeys first meet their horses on race day, but Muntz and Brave Warrior go back a while. With the help of Kathy and trainer Eric Kerwin, they bought the horse for just $22,000.
Even his very first official trial at Doomben over 2 furlongs, he missed the start by quite a long way, and he managed to pick the whole field up as sort of he only got beaten a very short margin, only a nose or something, so we knew then we had something special.
He doesn't need it, but there's extra reason for this 49-kilo reinsman to steer Brave Warrior home in the Spring Champion Stakes. Earlier in the year, he was to have ridden the horse in the Rich Magic Millions. But a couple of races earlier, this fall made him a late scratching.
He's come down, she looks to have broken down and looking good, went straight over the top of her.
I was unconscious, I suppose, for about 5 minutes, and I was in the ambulance and I'd managed to sign myself out somehow. I'd signed a document to say that I could leave the ambulance, but...
This was with your broken wrist?
Yeah, I did scribble my name on there somehow. I don't know how the ambulance guy understood it, but I took a step out of the ambulance. I started to walk towards the jockey's room and collapsed.
Here comes the Queenslander! Brave Warrior! Yes, he's too good!
The Warrior carried the day, and another jockey. Muntz doesn't give the impression he's desperate to win. He's a 24-year-old with a cool head. He's already had one stint of riding in Sydney without much success. But returning for the big races, he's not out to prove a point.
I've got my own killer in me, my own will to win without sort of having points to prove. I mean, if you go out in races trying to prove points, well, you know, I reckon you bring yourself unstuck a little bit.
He wants to be the best, and that's, you know, that's a very good attitude to have. He puts a lot of dedication into it, and I just think he will be the best one day.
Of course, the horse to carry him there is Brave Warrior. If there is a doubt today, it may be the testing Randwick 2,000 metres. But if the horse is to fulfil Chris's dreams, he should do it in style. It's all just a step to a 3,200-metre race.
I would dearly love to win a Melbourne Cup on this horse if he ever shapes up to it. I'm not saying he you know...
Might be a bit early this year.
Of course it is. You can sort of do what you like on him, but he's such a relaxed horse, you can put him where you want.
Yes, quietly confident, but a lot of expectation, and we'll see how the Muntz Mob and Brave Warrior perform very shortly when we bring you our live coverage of the Spring Champion Stakes, right here on Wide World of Sports.
the Champion Stakes. One of the big ones of the day is next, and all the rage is the Queenslander Brave Warrior. On the TAB, he's still showing at $1.50 for $1 investment on the New South Wales tab. What the heck, as long as you collect. Dane Win, trained by Bob Thompson here at Randwick, ridden by CK Chi of Hong Kong, paying $5 exactly. Number 3, Law of the Land, another Bob Thompson runner, paying $21. Stay Tuned at $18. Shystad from Melbourne at $26. Simulcast, Mick Dittman's mount, $7.50. Celtic Explosion, Darren Beedman at $31. Breathtaker, Michael Evans at $41. And Glide Away, Glenn Boss at $34. Well, all the horses look great here at Randwick today, but the fashions, the ladies, they look simply stunning. And with another story on the fashions, the beautiful Angela Bell McSweeney.
Well, behind every great man, they say there's a lady, and the lady behind Jimmy Cassidy is his lovely wife, Helen Cassidy. Helen, hi.
Hi.
How are the nerves in your household this morning?
Pretty good. Jimmy got up early and went down to the sauna. He came home and had a little sleep, and he just treats it as another race day, but naturally it's a more important race day.
Well, I know he's got about 6 rides today, but can you give us any special tips or the last-minute information on March Hare?
We're just hoping. He's drawn 16, but at the same stage to me, and I really do feel it's quite a good draw. He's out a little bit off the fence, and you know, hopefully he'll have plenty of racing room, and I think it'll help.
What about his other rides through the day?
He's got quite a few other rides. I don't know a lot about them. I think it's Shystad in the Champion Stakes. I hope that might go a nice race, and he's on I think it's Marathon, the 3-year-old filly, and hopefully she might go nicely. I'm not really sure, honestly. I'm just hoping.
Thank you, Helen Cassidy.
Angela Bell then, and there's Kiwis everywhere during the Spring Racing Carnival, both in Sydney and of course at Melbourne. An essential element to any race day is the role of the greencoats, the men posted at various areas of the course who go about their work directing traffic, opening gates, mostly keeping a low profile. Andrew Voss has compiled this short tribute to the greencoats here at Randwick.
Probably the most crucial gate on the course. You've seen some good horses go through here.
I've only been on this gate today, but for a long time I've been out in the middle, so I'd say yeah, it is a crucial gate.
Greencoats get scorned on by some punters. Do you feel the pressure in this job?
Sometimes you do, yeah.
Tell us your duties on this gate. What's the story? What do you have to do?
There it is. The settling enclosure, jockeys, owners, trainers, not by their say-so, just by their badges. That's it. I've just got to watch those badges to make sure that credited people only get in.
Truthful, Brian, can greencoats bet?
No, definitely not.
They're a lot of fun, but Max, we've all had a bad experience with the greencoat, but nothing here at Randwick.
I tell you what, very, very, very little gets past them.
You haven't got the right badge, you've got no way of getting in. I once saw the Governor-General knocked back at a racecourse out in the bush because he didn't have the right badge. We'll bring you more of the colour of the Spring Champion Stakes after break from Royal Randwick.
Glorious day at Randwick as the horses parade for the start of the Spring Champion Stakes. Let's head back to the Channel 9 stable to get a sports update from Ian Maurice.
Good on you, Max. Jack, you better hope this doesn't happen at Randwick this afternoon. I refer to the second last race at Newmarket, England yesterday, where the starting gate failed to open 3 times. In the pandemonium, 6 horses took off down the track in a bolt for freedom, one of them showing what it thought of having to carry a jockey on its back for all those years. They then took off down the main road before finally being apprehended. Now, the last one was cornered in a tennis court. And, it was asked to get off the tennis court. And Kenny Callender, you're probably wondering why it was asked to get off. You see, it was wearing the wrong shoes.
The way I play, Bear, lucky it wasn't playing against me, it might have beaten me. Okay, the horses are parading for the Champion Stakes. I think we might just have another peep at these tote prices. The favourite has just eased a little. He's now out to $1.70 on the tote, Brave Warrior. That's more like it. That's more like the prices I can take. Dane Win TAB number 2 is still showing $5. Number 3, Law of the Land, showing $21. Number 4, Stay Tuned, $18. Number 5, Shystad, is showing $26. Number 6, Simulcast, is down to about almost $6, about $6.20 to be exact at the moment. Mick Dittman's Mount, Celtic Explosion at $31. Number 8, Breathtaker at $41. And number 9, Glide Away at $34. Joining me now is a man very, very well known to Sydney Siders. He's a commentator on 2KY Racing Radio, and also joining us on Channel 9 today, former jockey Ron Dufficy. Good day, Duff.
Hi, Ken.
How are you?
Good, thanks, yeah.
Mate, Brave Warrior's got that impression of a long-distance horse to me, long and lean, whereas Dane Win, the other horse, has got a bit more substance about him.
Yeah, Brave Warrior's got a bit of class and a bit of sprint about him. He does look well. Just lightened off a little, I think, and Dane Win, I think, is the horse on the way up. I'm really taken with Dane Win, and I've put my money on Dane Win anyway. I think he looks sensational. And this Hong Kong jockey, Jackie Chow, I'm going to give him a chance, and I don't think he's going to do too much wrong.
We can see Brave Warrior in centre screen now. I agree with you that he has tightened up probably a little bit, as much as lightened off. Eric Kerwin was frightened that he'd get away on him, and he ran him last Saturday in the George Main Stakes, and he's backing him up today. And I think his opinion is he's as fit as hands can make him. There's the chestnut on centre screen, ridden by Chris Muntz, and he's representing all Queensland. Good jockey, Muntz, Ron.
Oh, outstanding performance in Sydney this season anyway, Ken, and he's doing everything right. That's the advantage he's got here.
Okay, let's pick up a few of the others as they come past us. Don't go away, Ronnie. There's TAB number 5, Shystad from Melbourne. A bit of a roughie in this field.
He's a good type of horse, and Jimmy really liked the feel of him last time he came to Sydney, and he'll be greatly benefited by the experience, and certainly not out of the trifecta chances.
That's Jim Cassidy aboard now, and for viewers Australia-wide who wonder about Ronnie's reference to Jimmy, Ron Dufficy is Jim Cassidy's manager. And for him to say that Jim liked the feel of the horse, he might be worth throwing in a trifecta or something, Ron.
Yeah, for sure, Ken. He's an improving type of horse. His last run in at Moonee Valley was good, behind a good filly in Northwood Plume.
There's Mick Dittman's Mount there. Mick, of course, is on the Alan Bell trained Simulcast. He's still a maiden. He's been placed in some very good races. A little bit of a query how he hits the line, Ron.
He's loaded with potential, Simulcast, Ken, but the only problem with him, he's still a big baby. He's got to get his mind on things and his act together, and then we're going to see a pretty smart horse. Whether that's today, we'll see shortly.
Okay, they're going onto the track now for the Spring Champion Stakes. Being led out, of course, by number 1, Brave Warrior. John Tapp, are you close by?
Yes, Ken, I can hear you.
What do you think of the look of the favourites here?
Well, Ken, I've been listening to you and Ron Dufficy. You both made mention of the fact that Brave Warrior looks to have lightened off a little. I've got to be truthful. I got the shock of my life when I saw him when he first appeared in the parade yard. I was at the stables here doing a National 9 news story on the horse 10 or 11 days ago. Now, Ken, there's no doubt in my mind he's lightened off, and he's lightened off significantly. But I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It might be a good thing, because he came from Brisbane looking like a show horse. He's an enormous eater, apparently. He's been very big and very gross. Today, he doesn't look like a show horse. He looks like a racehorse. This is the way he should look, mate. I think it's a very positive sign.
I do too, John, and he's with a man who knows how to handle him. He said all along he'll be peaking on Champion Stakes Day, and looking at him, I reckon he's ready to fire. What about Dane Win, a horse with a bit of quality about him to look at, John?
Well, he's looking a lot fitter too, Ken. Bobby Thompson once described him as a tub of lard. Dane Win, gee, was a heavy horse. I can remember the first day I ever saw him at Rose Hill in a 2-year-old race. He looked enormous. But run by run, he's got tighter and tighter. There was quite a shock this week, Ken, when it was announced that Shane Dye was going to be replaced by the Hong Kong jockey, Jackie Chair, who apparently is a very close friend of one of the owners, Mr. S.W. Yam.
Yeah, Sonny Yam. John, Jackie, I think, finished 12th in the last Hong Kong Premiership, about 3rd of the local riders over there. But a pretty hot field in Hong Kong, some very good riders. Anyway, there he is going along to the barrier, CK Che on Danewin. And on that point, we'll take a break and then come back for the running of the 1994 Spring Champion Stakes. 3 minutes to post time for the Spring Champion Stakes of 1994 as the crowd gathers on the lawns and in the stands at Royal Randwick. And what a great race it's going to be. The favourite, the hot pot, is Brave Warrior. And as I look up at the tote board, he's now showing $1.80 for $1 investment. Getting close to even money. $1.80 is odds of 5 to 4 on. Number 2, Danewin. We've spoke plenty of times about him. He's into almost $4 now for $1 investment. He's a clear-cut second favourite. Law of the Land is showing $20. Stay Tuned, $18. Shystad, $26. Simulcast, still almost out at $6. Mick Dittman's Mount. Number 7, Celtic Explosion at $34. Breathtaker at $41. And Glide Away, TAB number 9 at $34. Small field of 9, but a quality field with class colts in Brave Warrior, Danewin and Simulcast particularly. There's Brave Warrior and the pink and the white stripes. 2,000 metres, a small field, top class horses. How do you ride them? Shane Dye is the man who'll know.
Race 4 of the day, the Group 1 Spring Championship Stakes. You don't want to draw wide here. It's an advantage to draw near the fence because you've only got 100 metres to the first turn and you don't want to be 3 or 4 wide. A horse like Brave Warrior is going to get a lovely run in the race. You don't want to dig your horse up early because he's got to relax. And you've got to remember, he's only a 3-year-old running a very hard 2,000 metres. From the half mile in this race, you start looking to get off the fence. And a horse like Brave Warrior should end up tracking Danewin. It's a great field, this, with the 3 major chances being Brave Warrior, Simulcast and Danewin.
Righto, Shane, thank you. The runners are behind the gates for the Spring Champion Stakes and about to be called up. I've just been glancing at the results of the Champion Stakes of yesteryear, and I see Malcolm Johnston's name down twice. 1979, he won the race on the Great Kingston Town, and in 1986, he won it again on a horse called Imprimatur. Mal, I bet you feel like moving into the gates with him, do you?
I certainly do, Tabby, especially on Superimpose.
How's he feel? Is he nice and quiet?
Mate, he feels fantastic. He's just a little bit excited. He sort of knows what's going on. He thinks he's back at the races competing, but he's a lovely old horse, John. Absolutely lovely old horse. Getting back to these horses, the horse behind the barrier, I'm very impressed with this Danewin. Gee, he looks absolutely beautiful. I agree, Brave Warrior has lightened off, but he looks beautiful in the coat. And the other one to sort of catch the eye a little bit, I've got to say, is Simulcast. He looks very nice, and he's got the Enforcer on. Due for a change of luck, mate.
Good on you, Miracle.
Thanks, mate.
Good on you, mate. See you later.
Okay.
Moving in now for the Spring Champion Stakes. Brave Warrior goes up into line ahead of Breathtaker, Law of the Land and Danewin. Now his Glide Away with Kevin Moses on board, showing in the race book as Glenn Boss, which was a misprint. Kevin Moses on Glide Away, and that horse needed 3 or 4 gatemen to give him a shove, but he's there now. Stay Tuned is next along. Celtic Explosion goes up for Darren Beedman. Jimmy Cassidy getting in on Shystad, and Mick Dittman on the maiden performer Simulcast. Probably Australia's most celebrated maiden at the moment. And that looks to be about it as the starter, Bill Cooper, heads over towards the rostrum now to release the field in the Spring Champion Stakes. Malcolm Johnston over there on Old Superimpose behind the gates, and I think Old Super wanted to line up with them. They're set. Off in the Spring Champion Stakes, a nice start, and Brave Warrior and Breathtaker near the inside of the first out. Law of the Land jumped well, and he wants to over-race in the early part. Danewin is away nicely and looks pretty relaxed in the run-up to the first crossing. Glide Away is about 5 deep, and then Shystad, followed by Stay Tuned, Celtic Explosion, and Simulcast is back last, about 8 off the lead. Now, nobody wanted to lead, so Chris Muntz said thank you very much and allowed Brave Warrior to stride clear going over the crossing. Brave Warrior has the mouth open. He wants to go fast. Master. Leads by 2.5 to Dane Win, who's dropping onto the rail. A half length away, Shy Stat. About 2 to Law of the Land, pulling a bit. 3/4 then to Glide Away. A length and a quarter to Breathtaker. 1.5 to Stay Tuned. 2 to Celtic Explosion, and a head away on the outside, Simulcast, as they go down the back. The pace is pretty genuine now, and Brave Warrior's got to do all of the work. He's in front by more than a length to Dane Win on the inside of Shystad. 2.5 Law of the Land, a neck away, Glide Away. A length to Breathtaker, followed by Stay Tuned. 1.5 to Simulcast on the outside of Celtic Explosion. Around the top turn at the 1,000 mark, Brave Warrior the leader. Shystad second, Dane Win is a head away third, getting the run of the race. To a length and a half to Glide Away, followed by Law of the Land, and then Stay Tuned on the outside from Breathtaker and Simulcast, about 8 off the lead and dropping out last, Celtic Explosion. 700 to go. Brave Warrior's been in front for most of the trip, led by a length to Shystad. Dane Winner's third on the fence, followed by Glide Away, and then Law of the Land and Breathtaker with Stay Tuned 3 deep as they near the turn, and the last couple of Simulcast and Celtic Explosion, with Simulcast under heavy pressure. Coming around the corner, Brave Warrior the leader. Jackie Chair has come off the fence on Dane Win, who's had a dream run, and Dane Win goes up to head Brave Warrior. Brave Warrior gave in pretty quickly. Stay Tuned down the outside is a big danger. Stay Tuned has raced up to Dane Win. They're clear of Brave Warrior and Glide Away. It's Dane Win clear with 100 to go. Brave Warrior coming again. Stay Tuned can't go on. Dane Win just in front. Brave Warrior fighting back tenaciously, but Dane Win ridden an absolute treat by Jackie Chair, and Dane Win beat Brave Warrior. Stay Tuned has run third, followed by Breathtaker. At the head of the others then Celtic Explosion, Glide Away, well back Law of the Land and Shystad, and Simulcast has run last in the Spring Champion Stakes. Well, you can't fault that ride. Jackie Chair has won the Champion Stakes on Dane Win to pay $4 and $1.30. Brave Warrior looked as though he would drop out, but fought back strongly, $1.20. And number 4, third, Stay Tuned, $3.20. Ken, did you think Dane Win might have shifted in a bit coming to the post?
No, but before that, John, I think Brave Warrior come out to him. There'll be no problem with protests. Clearly the best horse on the day was Dane Win. I don't think Chris Muntz wanted to lead on Brave Warrior, but he didn't have much option. Nothing sort of wanted to take him on. He raced a little bit keenly, but that's academic. The winner was Brave Dane Win. He deserved to win. Congratulations to Jackie Chi. Dane Win was too good on the day. I think both horses, when they hit the Cutter-Ray rail section, were a little bit at sea, and honours all should go to Dane Win. He won fairly and squarely, and as you said, John, he's going to pay $4 to win, $1.30 the place. Second was number 1, Brave Warrior, Chris Muntz, and Stay Tuned down the outside in the white cap and the grey and red colours. Not particularly well ridden last start when he finished second here to Dane Win, but today he had his chance. He just ran into 2 better horses on the day, and he had to settle for 4th placing. Malcolm, I think you've got the jockey there.
G'day, Daffy. Yeah, I got Jackie here, and he's one happy young man. How was that, Jackie?
Yeah. How old am I?
No, how do you feel?
Yeah, very good.
It's a long way to come. It's a long way to come, but the result was worth it.
Yeah.
Good on you. He's a very happy young man, I can assure you.
Yeah, I'm sure he is, and he's entitled to be. He's entitled to be a very proud young man, Malcolm. And there we see Jackie Chi on Dane Win. That's the biggest win he's ever had in his career. Let's pick them up head on. As John said, he come in a little bit, Dane Win, but that was right on the post. Brave Warrior was beaten at that stage. It made absolutely no difference whatsoever to the result. And the winner, as we see him there, is Jackie Chi on number 2, Dane Win. Bobby Thompson wanted Shane Dye to ride this horse. The owner, Mr. Sonny Yam, overruled him. He said he wanted his mate from Hong Kong aboard, and Mr. Yam knew exactly what he was doing. And there's young Jackie saluting the crowd. There's not a lot of him, but what there is, he knows how to ride these racehorses. TAB number 2, Dane Win, with the clerk of the course. Perhaps Jack is not quite as excited as Gavin Eads was in the Autumn Carnival, but he's certainly very excited. That's Dick Robert, the Randwick Racecourse manager, affixing the lead to Dane Win, and he'll now invite the owners to lead their horse back to scale. The 2 owners from Hong Kong, there they are, Mr. Yam and his friend Mr. Chung, leading their very, very good colt, TAB number 2, Dane Win, the winner of the 1994 Spring Champion Stakes. And the Randwick crowd, which is good to see, he wasn't favourite, but they're giving him a fitting ovation. He was second favourite, and young Jackie is saluting the crowd with his cap. Chris Muntz looks a little dejected, I might mention, on the second horse, Brave Warrior. I'm sure he didn't want to lead, but these things happen, and I think he rode him quite well. He just ran into a better youngster on the day, and looking at their appearance, I think there's probably more scope for improvement yet in Dane Wynn than Brave Warrior. Goes into the winner's circle there, welcomed in by Mr. John Streck, the chief steward. Young Jackie C dismounts, and on that note, I think we should dismount, go back for a break, and then come back for more action at Randwick on Epsom Day 1994.
Next week on
Welcome back to Royal Randwick. Magnificent scenes here. The Spring Champion Stakes has been run and won. And let's now have a look at the dividends for that race. Dane Wynn, number 2, paying $4 even and $1.30. Brave Warrior, good race, but finishing into second with $1.20. And Stay Tuned, paid $3.20. So a fantastic performance there. Now let's have a look at how our guest tipsters went. There he is, Kenny, down the gurgler. Big Mal, 3 out of 4 now. And Mahatma Coates, Rupees going down the gurgler. Well, not a very good way to go at all there. So what do you think, Ken?
Well, I think the science of Mahatma is not quite working at this particular stage. Yeah, it's really unnerving when you hear that last sort of part go through on the old flush. But today we're putting $5,000 in some great Sony products on the line.
Well, that I've got race 5 in Melbourne, the first leg of the Daily Double at Flemington, where all the rage is the West Australian Rancho Man. Let's look at the prices. Number 1, Lord Trident, is $16. Number 2, Street Ruffian, $16. Cogitate showing $12 for $1 investment. Rancho Man, $2.50. Everyone says he'll win if they're good judges. I think I'll be putting my cash on him. Mature is showing $10. Ride the Tide is a scratching, $16 Defoe, $8.50 Doremus, very good horse, but might need further. Draft Choice, $11. Pearl Prince, $51. Campaign Warrior, $26. True to Labour, $100. 101. Ben's Rocket, $18. So's Velt, fancy putting that in on me, Mahatma, like that. $12, and My Bodyguard at $61. The race of 1,405 metres is due to run, in about 5 minutes. Why don't we take a break and then come back and look at the first leg of the Daily Double from Flemington. Yes, and there was a New South Wales TAB Superfecta on the Champion Stakes, race 4, and it pays on the numbers 2, 1, 4, 8, 7 and 9, and a pretty whopping good dividend too, $22,148.20 for a $1 investment. Of course, you had to have the 6 horses in the correct order. I was wrong. Okay, here we go. Number 1, Lord Trident on the first leg in Melbourne is showing $15, just firmed a fraction. Street Ruffian, $16. Cogitate, $12. Rancho Man still all the rage. Jason Oliver from Perth showing $2.50. $10 Mature. Ride the Tide is out. 16 Defoe. Doremus, a move for this horse, into $7.50. Draft Choice at $11. Pearl Prince, $61. Campaign Warrior, $26. True to Labour, $101. Ben's Rocket, $18. So's Velt, $14. And My Bodyguard, $61. The race just over a fraction longer than 1,400 metres. As we pick up vision from Flemington, you can see the horses going into line. A little bit of a tricky start, the 1,400 metres at Flemington, even though it's a very roomy course. I think inside barriers are a decided advantage from this start. If you're looking for the colours of the two horses that have firmed in the market, particularly TAB number 4, Rancho Man, he races in maroon with a white Maltese cross, striped sleeves and a maroon cap, and Doremus races in dark blue and pink hoops with a pink cap. They're about to go. Here's our caller at Flemington, John Russell.
Lights on, and they're racing.
And Pearl Prince was the first out, quickly headed by Street Ruffian. Defoe began smartly and away quickly, also showing speed up there towards the outside as Ben's Rocket, being followed by Lord Trident, Rancho Man and Monsieur. And they were being followed by Cogitate back to centre field over on the inside of Sosfeld, followed by further back there Campaign Warrior. A length and a half Doremus on the inside of Draft Choice, followed by True to Label and My Bodyguard last of all. 1,000 to go. Ben's Rocket the leader by a length to Street Ruffian.